DVD. It just said Dragon Ball Super, and I'm like, I went with my dad, and I was like already nervous because he doesn't really do the sub because he can't read really, from afar. He didn't bring his glasses, and he's really like slow. Where it's like reading, like, what does that say? Oh wait, it went to the next scene,
Yeah.
So I looked at my dad. I'm like, Dad, I don't know if this is gonna be in English or in Japanese, and he's like, I think it's gonna be in English. I was like, if you say so, and he was right. I think it's because Dragon Ball is so big, right? That when it comes out in theaters, it's just they give you English for American audience.
Yeah, they kind of know who's gonna be coming.
Yeah, because I went to go see the movie Jujutsu Kaisen with my dad, and that was just sub. It was all subtitles, and he had no idea what was going on. But...
He was just looking at the pretty images.
Well, he did say, and I don't know if you're recording, but we can include this. But I tweeted this out, but. My dad, because he went with me to go see Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and he had asked me, as someone who doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball, he turned to me and he says, "Who is that purple rabbit?" in reference to Beerus.
Yeah.
So that was it was funny. It's funny to watch things, especially Dragon Ball, with someone who doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball. It's hilarious.
It's like my mom. She'll be like, with Pokemon, it's like, is that Pikachu? No.
Yeah, they're all Pikachus.
But for Dragon Ball, is that Goku?
It's Goku.
Like,
yeah,
everyone's
exactly.
Goku. Like,
everyone's Goku. I love that.
So yesterday we watched Dragon Ball Super
Hero.
Duper Hero. Yes.
Interesting title. Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue. Let me tell you. And I already did a why should you watch it, and whenever I do those, it's I want to like give just like an unbiased opinion, like why should I think if you wanted to watch it, watch it. But right now we're gonna get into the juicy stuff. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty, down and dirty. So definitely a lot of spoilers. Like we're talking Fast and Furious Vin Diesel spoilers.
You have been warned. You have been warned that this video is going to be all about the spoilers of Dragon Ball Superhero. So if you don't want to listen to any spoilers, do not watch this video, or watch it if you do want to see spoilers. So,
and you'll see, like, we're still going to get the comment. Oh, the spoilers.
How dare you, Taco Sensei? You should have just put spoilers right here before the video.
Yeah, like the entire video should just be us saying spoiler. Like
spoiler. We'll put in the title, don't worry.
Anyways, so first impressions, go. Hit me.
My first impression? Okay. So going into this movie, I actually, for the longest time, tried my best to avoid all spoilers because there were some leaks online, and I tried my best to avoid it. I got sent things to watch in which I chose not to because I want to see it first time in theaters, in which I did. Now, it's the internet. I work on the internet, and so it's hard to avoid all spoilers. So I did see a little stuff here and there, and sure enough, those things came true with the movie. Now, my impression overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I seriously did. I came out of there feeling good about the movie. Now, is it the best thing ever? No. But I enjoyed it for the most part.
I kind of feel the same. I went in there not knowing what it was going to be about, to be honest with you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, most of the Dragon Ball movies from, like, way back in the day, they either don't respect the canon or, like, they are their own little thing and just like... they can be its own. So I wasn't expecting like an Oscar-worthy type of movie. Granted, the Broly movie was, in my opinion, exceptional, but
yeah, it was better than this film, in my opinion, and I've stated that and said that. And also, I've watched your video, Ivan, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out that video and you don't want to, watch a video where it's all about spoilers on this movie, go watch that video that Ivan posted yesterday. We will leave that link in the description down below. You're totally right about this movie. You said it best. It's almost as if they looked on Reddit to see what was wrong with Dragon Ball Super and then made this movie to kind of redeem the characters and everything. And it's true. And you are also right that this movie is made for the fans. It's not
Mm-hmm.
made for new Dragon Ball fans.
No.
Those who, if you don't know anything about Dragon Ball, I do not recommend going to see this. Again, my dad went with me to go see this movie, and he doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball. He knows the basics, like, oh yeah, that's Goku, but they're all Goku to him, as you mentioned. But yeah, even he was just like, what's going on here? And he was confused, but overall, he did enjoy it. You know, he thought like, okay, it was pretty awesome to see the fighting and whatnot. But
It's enjoyable for sure. It's enjoyable. Like you.
But storytelling wise, you won't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know, I do have to say, the thing that I really did like about it, and maybe we should start with things we did like about it, and then talk about things that we probably didn't really like about it. So
let's do that.
I have to say, what I liked about it is the fact that they did include stuff from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, you know, that they touched down on those things where it's like, oh, like, for example, I did love the fact when I saw Krillin and Piccolo and 18 and, you know, like all these characters. Again, I'm someone with Dragon Ball. I enjoy the friendship element of it, right? I love seeing them all come together. It was awesome getting to see Trunks and Goten as teenagers, finally something we really wanted to see, because we always see them as kids, right? So it was nice getting to see them as teenagers. So it was nice to see the gang together, though I was looking for Yamcha, but we didn't get to see him, which was kind of disappointing.
Well, if they keep going down this trend, I wouldn't be surprised if Toei Animation was like, all right, so we've redeemed everyone, but who's left? And it's just gonna be a movie about Yamcha becoming like.
We need a Yamcha movie. Let's get that
movie,
going.
yeah.
A Yamcha movie. But no, seriously, it was nice getting to see the characters all together again. It was awesome getting to see Krillin use Destructo Disc and Solar Flare, which is my absolute favorite move.
Really?
Yeah, that I love that move. If I can like have a move, just Solar Flare and just blind people and just leave. Because I'm a runner, not a fighter. So I just Solar Flare. Bye. Yeah. So it was awesome getting to see that. It was awesome getting to see, which I did cry when I saw this, and I did text you that I when we were giving each other like, oh my gosh, like when we were giving each other opinions about it after we saw it, I did cry getting to see Gohan snap again, because it brought me back to that moment when he was a teenager fighting Cell, and that snap. And also, if you see this movie, you'll see kind of Easter eggs of teen Gohan in it, like a shadow form, which is kind of neat. If you did see it and you didn't catch that, that's a little Easter egg that I thought was pretty cool that they added. And the fact that he used Special Beam Cannon, Piccolo's attack, I wasn't expecting that, because he even said it. He's like, just use the Kamehameha or something. And the fact that I saw him doing this, like charging up, I was like, I was jaw dropped. Like, oh my gosh, they really did this. This is literally Piccolo and Gohan. Like, this is the movie. You know, it's about them. And I did enjoy the fact that, look, we do know that Goku, Vegeta, the reason why that you don't really see them in Super with, you know, their friends anymore, which I know is a disappointment, is because they're at a point where they just surpass them. They're fighting off with gods, you know, like Krillin, Yamcha, they can't keep up, though. That would be pretty funny if they could, but they just can't keep up. So it was cool to see in that like aspect where it's like, okay, here, because they did show Goku and Vegeta, you know, in a different world fighting off with you know, Beerus and Wiz, like they did show that. And then I love with this movie where it's like, okay, we know where Goku and Vegeta are, we know what we're doing because we know that from Super, but here's what's happening on planet Earth. So that was really cool to see. The fact where it's like, okay, we know where Goku and Vegeta are, we know that they're the strongest, blah, 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 but here's where the rest of the gang are. And that, to me, was cool to witness.
I think the things that I like about this movie are also the things that I dislike about the movie. But I'll get into that in a minute. I have to say, the Special Beam Cannon, like you said, I was not expecting that. It felt a little like dissing to Goku, you know, because it was so iconic. The Gohan Kamehameha with one hand, with Ghost Dad like in the background just doing the thing, like
iconic look.
It was so, it's such a powerful thing.
It is.
And this time, like they did the other one, it's like, let's give the chance to the second dad, you know, like
yeah, pretty much.
So that was interesting. Getting to see Gohan fight again, and it was very nostalgic. I really enjoy that aspect. Also, the the new villain, Dr. Hedo or
Hero,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
whatever his name is.
There he is.
Yeah, that purple menace. I thought I was going to hate him. I was like, oh, here
Me
we
too.
have another, but no, like he wasn't a villain. He was just like this little quirky,
Yeah.
super smart guy that wanted to. He was very childish to his approach of becoming a superhero, therefore ending
Hmm.
becoming like kind of a villain. But that was nice to see, like that we had now in Dragon Ball, like for as much for as much dirt that I throw to Dragon Ball Super, it is right that they have been developing the characters a little bit more. They have been giving a little bit more depth to some characters, and now we have a villain ish that is not really a villain, just has a really weird approach. Like
Hmm.
usually used to be very cut and dry, where this is the villain, this is the
Hmm.
hero. So we had this dichotomy now of like, well, kind of, kind
Yeah.
of a villain, kind of a hero. So that was
Hmm.
nice. Piccolo being best dad, that was nice to see again,
Yeah.
like being the best. What's it called? Babysitter that you can get with Pan.
Yeah.
And seeing Teen, Goten, and Trunks was also very sweet. Now, my favorite part about the movie was Vegeta. For as little as he was
Mm.
there, because they were like, okay, we know for a minute that Goku has been like super super strong and everything. But in this movie, we get to see Vegeta being like, hey, no, Jiren was calm. No,
Yeah.
you cannot like fight your way out of things only using your muscles sometimes. And he's meditating, and when he was fighting Goku, even they were commenting, Broly and the rest, like Vegeta's moving differently. Like he's getting up to par with him. So I was
Yeah.
like, finally, like some respect for my guy. Like,
Yeah, that I will agree with that. That was really good and surprising character development because, as we know, when Vegeta does fight, he's not even like he's pretty arrogant when he fights. You know, he gets
mm-hmm.
really cocky. You know, his pride takes over him, and so that was a that was really surprising to see that character development from Vegeta. So I agree. That was really awesome to see.
And we got to see also waifu number one, the green lady with Broly. What's her name?
Oh, Chili, Chili,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Chili.
I think that's her name, Chili.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Chili.
not really the biggest fan of her, but yeah, Chili, something like that.
Well,
Hmm.
we got to see Beerus also falling for her, as well as
Yeah, that was
10,000 other people
something.
in the internet.
The only thing we got to see him really love is food, and it was really interesting to see that. So yeah, that was like again, I'm not, and I say this all the time, like with Super overall, I rate it 5, maybe 6 out of 10. It just wasn't my best, and mainly just because of these new characters, I'm just not a fan of. I get, there are people out there that love them, and there's a hype for them. That's fine. That's your opinion. But for me personally, I don't care for Beerus. I don't care for Wiz. I don't care for Chili, as I mentioned, and so that's why like I don't really like have a connection with them either. I mean,
Mhm.
I watch Dragon Ball Z. You have a connection with these characters, that OG characters, so. And with this movie, they did bring in new characters. They brought in I call them Thing 1, Thing 2.
Yeah, pretty
You got,
much.
this little munchkin right here. And they portrayed them well. They portrayed them in a way where it's like, okay, you get the new characters and the old characters, but focusing more on the old characters. My phone is ringing. Just going to wait for that to stop. I don't know if you hear that, but it's ringing.
I
You
can't.
don't hear it. All
Anyways,
right.
doesn't
Anyways, we'll cut
matter.
that. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out. I'm just going to wait for it.
Eh.
It stopped. Okay.
So let's talk about the things that we didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
Because as much as there are things that we like, there's also things that we didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So you go first, ladies first.
Ladies first. All right. Okay. So, oh man, things that I didn't like. I mean, there was times in the movie theater where I just kind of rolled my eyes, and one of the, one of the, one of the parts was when Pan was telling Piccolo, like, "Hey, is it true that if Gohan does train and if he stuck to it, that he would surpass Goku?" And I was just like, "Are they really doing this right now?" Are they really doing this right now?
Mm,
So I was just kind of like, and then Piccolo was like, of course. And it's like, we know that. Like, you've told us this for the longest time with Z, like,
mm,
so when I heard that, I was like, oh gosh, so okay, this is what this movie is about, which I already knew was going to be centered around that. But it's like you said, it's almost as if they're trying to redeem Gohan, which, by the way, I just want to say, with this movie, I still don't think Gohan's redeemed. I
okay.
don't think that he's redeemed. I think that the damage is done with Super. I feel like that's already long and gone. I don't think this is a redemption to his character. However, and there were some questions that people had asked me, and one of them, which I will say now, is if I only seen Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but didn't see Super, is this movie worth watching? Like, can I watch this movie? And the answer to that, in my opinion, is yes, because you're coming off of Dragon Ball Z, and we know already, like, Gohan's potential. And if you do not want to get into Super, then yeah, you can totally watch this movie. I mean, a lot of it came from Z and Dragon Ball. They include that in this movie, and which leads me to my next thing that I didn't like is, hey, Piccolo, hey, this person, do you remember that thing that you did in Dragon Ball, that power that you can do? Like, why don't you do it right now? And I was like, what? Why now? Oh my gosh. Hey,
Yeah.
Piccolo, you remember when you were able to turn really big in Dragon Ball, but you didn't really do in Z or Super? Yeah, why don't you just do that now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
even
you're right.
Piccolo,
Yeah,
Piccolo was like, oh yeah, I forgot I could do that. And I was like,
yeah.
oh no. Oh
Yeah. Yeah,
no.
yeah, you're right. You're right on that
I
one.
didn't like that. I was just like, oh, really? Is that why they included the whole, like, having to bring in Dragon Ball and some stuff from Dragon Ball Z just to
Mm,
tell people, like, hey, remember that this character can do this? And I was
mhm.
like,
Yeah, that's
ooh,
like it's what I told you. Like one of the things that I liked about the movie was how much for the fans it was.
yeah.
A lot of fan service, but at the same time, that is what I didn't like about the movie. Like I
Mm.
appreciate the fact that they were doing so many callbacks and so many member berries. Remember Piccolo turning big? Remember Android 16 saying protect the world?
Yeah.
Remember everything and everything. And one part of me was like, yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, feed me all of that nostalgia. But in the other, I was like, really? like,
Yeah. Now.
like for real? And
Yeah.
I I did not really like. If I was to be like completely unbiased, I think it does more disservice to the movie to do so many callbacks. It's like fan service galore. There was
Hmm.
one part that I just as an spectator
Hmm.
I didn't like, but as a fan I did like. Is whenever
Okay.
they're like trying to get in touch with Goku and Vegeta. Which also, I hate the fact that Piccolo was like, oh, there's a new threat? Let's call Goku and Vegeta immediately. And as
Yeah.
opposed to be like, oh, let me handle this shit. Because he's an incredibly competent fighter. Like, he doesn't need to go and run to mommy and daddy real quick. Like, given a little bit more credit. But
Hmm.
they were like trying to get in touch with them. And for like literally 5 seconds, there's this scene of Volma looking for the whatever thingy majiggy to talk to
Oh, yeah.
Whis,
Hmm.
and it's just her butt like
Yeah,
bouncing back
I
and
saw
forth.
that. Oh my gosh. Why did they include that? When it's
Look,
like one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm bringing my parent, and oh, I'm bringing my parent to go see, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. What can possibly happen? Nothing. Oh my gosh, really?
like,
Really?
like, like
I was just like sitting like this with my dad. I was like,
it's so like it's long enough to make it uncomfortable.
yeah,
You know, like
just bouncing. And there was a part too in the car where you know what I'm talking
oh
about?
yeah,
Like in
yeah.
the car, and there was
The
like at the
crotch shot.
crotch.
Like I was I went to see it with my girlfriend and my brother, and whenever they had the little crotch shot, like coming
Mm.
from below, like omnipotent, he even looked at me and was like, "Was that shot really necessary?" And the same
I
with the
know.
Bulma's ass just like bouncing.
Bouncing, just
Like
yeah,
it was like not necessary. I appreciate the fact, like
yeah.
clearly her wishes to Shenron are paying off,
Mm.
but like
Except in
Really?
Fortnite. Except in Fortnite. But
Yeah,
yeah.
she has none in for that's pre Shenron wishes.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Now it makes sense. It makes sense now why she wanted to get those. I'm like, dang, yeah, yeah.
uh,
No, that was a pretty oh my gosh kind of moment to see.
now, tell me if you. I think you mentioned this when we were texting that you did not mind the animation.
So here's the thing. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't a fan of the animation.
Okay.
I thought, oh my gosh, this looks like a video game, and
Mm-hmm.
it still does. And look, when it first appeared on the big screen, I still had that in my mind, like, oh gosh, this animation is awful. But you got used to it as time went on, as you do with everything,
Mm.
But I still am not a fan of it. If anything, they should have done what they did with Broly. That is
Mm.
cool, and I feel like they need to do the whole CGI thing because of how fast they move, kind of like what they do in Demon Slayer, where it's like the fast movements, and that's why they need to have CGI and all that. But with this animation, still not a big fan, but I didn't mind it as time went on. I just got used to it.
I got used to it,
Yeah.
but definitely it took me like half the movie to get used to it. Because
Mm.
let me tell you, freaking camera person, like whoever was animating the camera, they're like, let us really show that we have 3D. And it was just like going back and forth and doing like spins and like,
There was a lot. Yeah.
my guy, like, chill.
There was a lot.
Chill. Even for a live action movie, it would have been like an excessive amount of like rotation with the camera.
Oh,
So
yeah.
definitely, if
Mhm.
you're prone to motion sickness, don't like, just be warned.
Yeah, be warned at least. Yeah, I agree with that.
I also didn't like the fact that Goku and Vegeta have gone to this point that everyone else is useless without them. You know, like,
Well, that applies to Super, because I do have to say, in this movie and in this movie alone, and I feel like this is the whole reason why they had to include Goku and Vegeta, is because, all right, here we have a new threat, and of course, who's the first person that we think of that is going to go and head and fight these people? Goku, Vegeta. But they made it clear in this movie that there was no way to get in touch with them, so they had no choice but to rely on Gohan, Piccolo, and the other friends, which I still feel like they should have included Yamcha. That still would have been hilarious. But, it was cool to see these other characters step up and have a spotlight. Now, one thing I do have to say, which actually, let me ask a question. So, what did you think of Cell Max?
Cell Max. Literally, I said this after watching the movie. I was like, so they, instead of creating new villains, for the past 500 years, they've been bringing Frieza back. They can't bring Majin Buu because Majin Buu is now a good guy.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we can either create a new villain that can be compelling and interesting, or we can bring Cell now. Like, we haven't brought him back in a minute.
Yeah.
So,
Gosh.
look, the design of
hmm.
Cell, when he technically is the same design as when he eats Android 17 right before 18. I think it was okay. Like, it was nothing. It was just like a new skin in the video game type of thing. The fact that he was
Yeah.
Godzilla size, I was just like,
Well, I'm glad that he didn't speak, though, because Cell
Mhm.
spoke and he had like a conscience, but with this character it was more like out of like we were aware that he was just out of control and there's no way to stop him, but we were aware that he also had a weak spot, which but one thing that I wish that they did include, and this was a missed opportunity, and I did text you this, is
Oh,
they should have had Mr. Satan there, just like to show him and be like, I can do this again. The camera people just show up and him getting scared. Oh my gosh, that would have been so funny to see, because you're showing us flashbacks to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and the fact they didn't include Mr. Satan, oh my gosh, that would have been so funny for him to just show up in his like old uniform and just be like, I'm here to stop the bad guy. This is gonna happen the second time, and just getting scared.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish that they would have done that so the entire world knew that like Mr. Satan beat him again, beat like another guy. That would have been so funny.
That
Oh
would
my
that would
gosh.
have been really.
They
really,
should have
really funny.
included that. And
Yeah.
Yamcha, 2 missed opportunities. Bring Yamcha, bring Puar, even Launch, because and it's like you said that we said earlier, it's almost as if they read Reddit and they touched down on all the things that went wrong. They should have brought back Launch. They should have brought her back because, Kira just totally forgot about her in Z.
Yeah, she did.
She's a great character. In fact, I have a figure of her right there. I love Lunch.
Yeah,
she's a great character. She's original. She's awesome. And so, they should have just included those 3 characters, and that would have been really great. That would have been really great.
Do you know what the 2 things that I disliked the most about this movie were?
What is that?
Number 1 is something that they haven't been doing, and I want to see. Trunks and Goten. Can we not have them do fusion every goddamn time? Can we see them like... You remember Trunks from the future. How much of a badass he was.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see Goten to that level. Like, those 2 handle their own. Like, they used to be as powerful as Goku at a time at the Majin Buu saga when they were like in their prime as kids. They were like beasts. Like they were holding their own against the second or third phase of Majin Buu.
Yeah.
So like, let's not forget how powerful these guys are.
I know. And look, a lot of these characters, the same thing that goes with them, but I think they did that because it's like, well, we can't have every single character step up. This is Gohan's show. And another character I forgot to mention when it's like, oh my gosh, he's one of my favorites, is Tien. It would have been cool to see Tien again.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd been nice to see him there as well. Again, it's just, I guess it comes down to, all right, we can't do all the characters, I guess, but whoever we can bring, let's just bring them. And we got to see, when they did their fusion dance, which you can see they're doing it below you. That was cool. Though
I like the fact that if you can see it right here in the fingers, they even have
it's off point. It's off point. Yeah. Because that was funny to see. Actually, my dad laughed at that part where like he just like had his bum out. Like that was a cute little gag. But let's move on to I want to ask you. So, what did you think of Gohan's new form?
I think that is okay. When you're looking you're looking at him from the front, like the design from the front, it's cool looking. Mm-hmm. But when he turns to the side, it's like one of those troll dolls with like super big, massive hair.
I know. It's just like,
and it was just a lot. Like, you should have dialed back on that. Like, I guess why they did it to like resemble the Super Saiyan 2 from Cell.
Yes,
but it was like
it had to be more grand because it's a new form.
Might as well just do like a Super Saiyan 3 type of thing. Like,
I was just gonna say that because they obviously did this new form for the movie, but then it's like, okay, you have this new form from Gohan. Where do we go from there? Nowhere. I don't even think they're gonna introduce this. Do you really think you'll see this again from Super? The way Super is? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I wish I like, honestly, if he had gone Super Saiyan 2.
Well, what he did to fight the androids here, thing 1 and thing 2, as I call them. But what I was going to say is that I would have been just as surprised to see, if not more, to see Super Saiyan 3 Gohan.
Yeah.
That would have been
that would have been powerful.
Yeah.
And then like,
we haven't seen that from Vegeta, or I mean, we've seen it from the fusion of Trunks and Goten, but it would have been really grand to see that from Gohan, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then like having a little, like, to justify how powerful this is, a shot back to Goku and Vegeta fighting, and then Jay stop and like, you feel that?
Yeah.
Like something like that,
Yeah, all the characters just being like, it's like in that moment where in Z where he explodes and they all just like stop what they're doing. Even the villains just stop what they're doing. Like, oh, even Cell was just like scared. Like, what is this new power I sense? Like that, it's like that like emotion of just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So absolutely. But as I mentioned, this new form was just for the movie and the movie alone, in my opinion. And it's why they did that. It's why they said, okay, we have this movie. We have to do something that could overstep something here, so let's just have this new form for Gohan.
I'm not buying that figure. Like, let's put it that way.
No,
I am. Yeah, whenever, what's the name of this new form?
That's a good question. Let me actually look it up. But let's move on. Let me find it. And while on the subject, what do you think of Piccolo's new form that we got to see?
Well, before going into Piccolo's new form, I just want to say the worst design and the thing that has me the most angry about is what they did to poor 18. She looks like this Karen soccer mom.
Oh,
And oh my god, I just had to say that, get that out of the way. But Piccolo's new transformation, when he goes sepia tone and then like orange mode, the sepia tone, he just looked more buff. I was like, all right, he looks like the Chinese bootleg Piccolo version. All right, I'm with it.
yeah. He looked like a much older version of himself in
Yeah.
that new form, and it was very intimidating. And I mean, I wasn't upset over it, to be honest. It was just it's one of those things where it's just like, again, for the movie, and where did that come from? I mean, it was cool to see, but again, it goes back to the whole, whoa, where did this come from? It's just.
Yeah, Orange Piccolo.
But then again, he did get that. What did he get from the Dragon Balls, where he had an unlocked
Yeah,
power, I
he
guess,
unlocked
or
power, yeah.
so I guess it kind of makes sense in a way.
I mean, I give props to the movie for giving Piccolo and Gohan a new transformation that can be up to par with Goku and Vegeta. Like they got the much needed upgrade. But
I think it's called. I don't even know if this is it or not. Could be wrong, but Gohan Beast is what it says.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't like that.
You like it?
I don't like that. I don't like the name of it. Gohan Beast.
I'm telling you, they went to Red and they were like, "Oh, beast mode. Let's use that." Like,
sure, let's just go for that. That sounds great.
That's what the younglings are using. We want to be hip. Let's go beast mode.
Yeah, but oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, and then if they keep reading on Reddit, like the new transformation is gonna be like Gohan turned or something.
Yeah.
Like,
but I do want to say, and I know I've said this to you, but the way that I view this film is the same way, and if you've seen it, is the same way that I view The Mandalorian, the last episode of season 1, where we got to see Luke, where there were a lot of people that had mixed emotions about it because, for the longest time with Star Wars, with Disney, it's not been good. So when people saw that from The Mandalorian, it brought tears to their eyes. A lot of people were emotional. That's the same way that I view this movie, is that with Super, it wasn't the best. I'm not a fan of it, especially me being the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan. I wasn't a fan of Super, but seeing this movie, getting to see Gohan, fight, and it's basically what we wanted originally from Super, is the same feeling that I got the way that some people saw Luke in The Mandalorian. That I love to put that in that term in terms of comparison. So yeah.
Let me say this. Because not many original Dragon Ball movies are considered canon by Toriyama. But I know that every single Super movie is canon.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie being canon, I will like this movie a lot more.
I know what you're going to say, yep.
If moving forward, Gohan is now fighting again and Piccolo fights again, and like this movie serves the purpose to like bring them up to the front. If this is like the just a means to the end, okay, then justified. I'll give it 9.5 out of 10. Like, I don't care, but only if they do that.
I don't know. I mean, I knew you were going to say that, but I also thought you were also going to say that if this movie, like, I don't even know, is this movie considered canon? It is it? See, I would have liked it more if it wasn't considered canon, because they already because they've already done the damage,
Yeah,
but I guess let me think of this through, actually.
Okay.
Now there is a part in the manga, and I'm caught up with the manga. There's a part in the manga where Gohan and Piccolo do show up, and I was rooting for it. I was like, this is great. I love this right now. This is what I want to see. So I guess you're right in terms of that. But look, the damage is done. But I guess the way that it could be redeemed is they give a really good explanation as to why they did what they did. You know what I mean? A really, really good storytelling with explanation on why they did what they did. Then yes, it could be redeemed. But where we are right now, we know that that's not going to happen. We already know that. This is Goku and Vegeta's story, point blank. They made that very clear. and we know that no other Saiyan really besides Broly, I guess at this point, can surpass and is stronger than Goku in terms of fighting, you know. But because Vegeta is never going to surpass Goku, we already know that.
I mean, hopefully, if this movie keeps going on that route, where they made Vegeta be more of a tactical fighter, more like, you know, calm, composed, and Goku was having a hard time because he was moving so efficiently and calmly. If they make, like, if the new arcs of Dragon Ball Super become one where Goku has to, like, become a better warrior because people are catching up to him, like Gohan just like discovered this new power, right? And now he is like as good or as powerful as Goku is. Piccolo is in the search of like him too, and like people are catching up to him, and then we see him being like, oh, so being the strongest is not all fighting is about.
Yeah.
And we just see that depth. Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Are they going to do that? I highly doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
I
don't think so. Now let's go move on to the next question I wanted to ask, which is, how did you feel about seeing Pan in this movie? Because, you know, we haven't really seen much of Pan as of late, in her older state, I should say. I mean, she's 3 years old. You know, like how did you feel seeing Pan?
I mean, she's adorable. She's just like a cute little blossom. Like I was very happy seeing her being so spunky and everything. Like, we get to see her at the end of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And they kind of kept the same type of personality and everything. So that was really, really nice to see. I loved when Piccolo goes to kidnap her with the other dude, and she just like obliterates the other dude.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know who this person is, you know, like, you don't know my mommy, you don't know my daddy. Pow! Just that was really awesome to see, that she could hold her own,
pretending to be scared, like, oh,
yeah, like,
that adorable. So I was very, very, very pleased seeing Pan, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I first saw the trailer, seeing Pan, I thought this was going to be centered around her, but and you know, she was there for the most part, but it was cool. And I've said this, I tweeted this out. If you're a fan of Gohan, go see this movie.
Yeah,
you know, go see it. Because if you want to see what you want to see from Gohan and Super, go see this movie. Which I do have some questions here that some people would like to know, and I know we already kind of said them, but just to put into clarification. So the first question is, can you see this movie if you haven't seen any of Dragon Ball?
Any of Dragon Ball?
Any of it. Just like newbie. What would you say?
I would say no. Like, this is a heavy, like, this is made for the fans. Like, if you're not in the group, it's gonna be. It's not like we are telling you, oh, if you're not a real fan, then you shouldn't. Like, no. It's just like, you
may be confused.
It's going, you're not probably going to enjoy it because you're gonna wonder what is going on, like 99% of the time.
Yeah. Now the next question is, can you see this movie if you haven't watched any of Dragon Ball Super? I say yes, and the reason for this is because if you already seen Dragon Ball, you already seen Dragon Ball Z, then yes, I do think that you'll understand what's going on. You know, you get a lot of backstory from Dragon Ball and Z and what the characters can do. So I do think, yes, in my opinion, if you haven't seen any of Super, you're probably aware at this point who that, as my dad likes to say, that purple rabbit is, and Wiz. So, and you don't see them for long anyways. So it's not like you're going to be totally confused, you know? I mean, you see all these OG characters that you're going to see. So in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think yes. What about you?
Yeah, for the most part, yes, too. I would say just get a little background on what has kind of happened. Like, just ask someone that has seen Dragon Ball Super, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, they met with this God of Destruction, then they had a tournament, and Vegeta and Goku are training, like, with him. That's technically all you need to know, and then you'll be able to watch it fully,
Yep. Now the next question is, does this movie redeem Gohan, in your opinion?
It's a difficult question. The best way I can answer that is that, as far as just the movie, I think it's a step in the right direction, but I'm with you with the fact that a lot of damage has been done. Now, if moving forward, they keep this
ongoing.
momentum. Yeah, they keep the Gohan fighting redemption going, then yes, 100% I think. But let's say that they stop. They don't bring Gohan fighting anymore and they just thought that with this movie we would be satisfied, then no.
Yeah, and I think this is what, like I said, this whole point of this movie was, because, again, I'm caught up with the manga, and for the most part, it's just Vegeta and Goku, you know? So this movie shows the whole, this is what's happening on Earth while Goku and Vegeta are away, for the most part, you know? So I guess, like, in that term, sure. But, yeah, I don't see them moving forward, and it'd be cool, like, yeah, if they did, but I don't see them moving forward redeeming Gohan in Super. I think this is the best that we're gonna get from the movie. So yeah, if you're a Gohan fan, go see it, go check it out. You're gonna enjoy it. The last question is, I haven't watched Dragon Ball after what they did to Gohan. As a Gohan fan, is it worth checking out? Which is what I just answered, which is yes, worth checking out. It is totally worth checking out. Worth again, it's not the greatest movie ever. In fact, I thought Dragon Ball Super Broly was really good. And in fact, with Broly, you get a lot more information on backstory, where Goku was from and all that, like who Frieza is. And so you get more of a storytelling from a newbie. If you haven't seen any of Dragon Ball, you get a lot of information from that. But with this movie, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, you don't get that sort of information. It's just jumps right into it. These characters and this is what's happening. So definitely go check it out if you are a Gohan fan. But if you are a newbie, I don't recommend this movie, but go watch Dragon Ball Superhero. Totally recommend that one for newbies and for fans in general.
I agree 100%. So with that said, what would you kind of rate it?
Yeah, we spoke about this. So and this is weird, I guess, to say, but from a standpoint of me looking at it with the things that I don't like, I rate it a 6 out of 10. But looking at the things that I did really like, I rate it a 7 out of 10. So I guess I'm at 6.5 out of 10.
A 6.5 out of 10.
6.5, yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, as a Dragon Ball fan, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of things that I did enjoy, and like, I'm sorry, but even though I grew up with Dragon Ball and everything, I'm not one of those people that take it so insanely seriously to be like, oh no, like Goku needs to be at this power level or whatever. Like I'm not a Dragon Ball cultist. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I had fun. And
it's enjoyable.
Now, if I was to say to rate it as just a movie on its own merit, thinking about character development, the story, consistency, rhythm, all of those things, it would be a 5 out of 10 for me. Okay. But that's seeing it like unbiased, cold, But as a fan, that's 7 out of 10. So
yeah, there you go.
Take that however you want.
There you go. That was a really great discussion. Well, sorry.
No,
okay, I think I forgot to ask one more thing, which we will.
Go.
Okay, so what did you think of Thing 1 and Thing 2?
I liked them.
You like them?
Yeah, okay. They were charming. I mean, at the beginning, I was like, oh, two generic alien-looking ass
androids, doing their thing. Yeah.
But as they were fighting with Piccolo and they were having conflicting thoughts into like, no, we're doing the right thing, but yeah, are we? Like, seeing that gave them a little bit more depth, and then sacrifice of Thing number 2 was also like, I was 100% sure they were not going to kill him. But they did, and I was glad that they did. I was like, oh, there's a consequence, like something happened. So I'm glad they did that. I ended up liking them.
Yeah. Same opinion, honestly, on par with that. But yeah, there we go. That was a really great discussion. Really was.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, let us know in the comments down below if you liked it, if you don't like it, if you mildly like it or mildly disliked it. Let us know also what other things you want us to discuss in depth, so you can get a 40-minute discussion.
Oh my gosh, we should just went live at this point. But yeah.
Right?
Gosh.
But anyways, thank you so much, guys. Let us know in the comments down below if you want long ass discussions on one specific topic, either live or like pre-recorded, like today, I guess. So, with that said, guys, thank you so very much, and we'll see you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.